onto this story now. U.S. President Donald Trump's impeachment inquiry into those public hearings are set to begin. Now, the probe centers on whether Trump asked Ukraine for a political favor. The reports go that he apparently pressured Kiev to investigate Democratic presidential candidate, and that is Joe Biden and his son. Our U.S. correspondent William Denzilo joins us now from New York. Will, good morning to you. So how confident is Trump ahead of this impeachment?
Well, there have been some very strong messages from President Trump this week, not only on Twitter, but here in New York. He was speaking at the Economic Club earlier on in Tuesday. He reiterated describing this impeachment investigation once again as a hoax. He said in front of the crowd here in the city that he was confident that they would find absolutely nothing damning on him, that he has done nothing wrong. Of course, he has consistently reiterated that now infamous phone call with the Ukrainian president on July 25th was perfect in his words, but Democrats will very much hope that these now public inquiries, this next stage in this investigation, will help to dismantle that rhetoric coming not only from President Trump, but some of his Republican lawmakers. Of course, let's not forget that it'll be absolutely crucial for Democrats to try and convince some of those Republicans in the Senate to change their minds when it comes to this impeachment investigation. And that's essentially the hope for the Democrats as we move into this next phase of proceedings.
Now, do Democrats have the upper hand here, Will? How realistic are they going into this impeachment process?
Well, essentially, at this stage, we're not expecting any huge bombshells when it comes to any particular new information. We're hearing from several witnesses this week. Several of these have already spoken in closed-door testimony. We have already had the release of these transcripts from the likes of the acting U.S. ambassador to the Ukraine, Bill Taylor, who's come out, according to these closed-door transcripts at least, and describing what he saw as evidence of the Trump administration seeking to withhold that nearly $400 million when it comes to military aid in exchange for investigations into the Bidens. So what we're expecting, what the Democrats will be hoping for, is a reiteration of that testimony. And the hope with this investigation going public is that it will not only help to try and convince Republicans, but also will help shift public opinion in their favour as well. Of course, Republicans will very much have a chance to cross-examine some of these individuals. They'll be seeking to try to find any holes and any discrepancies between their public testimony and their private testimony held in previous weeks. And they'll also be looking at other examples and other potential avenues to try and exploit. Some of those, we understand, will be the Republicans trying to seek and trying to paint a picture that perhaps President Trump was seeking to withhold some of that military aid because of what they describe as corruption within Ukraine that they were trying to root out, and not because they were seeking to withhold it to seek dirt on political rivals.
Denz, will tell us about President Trump and reports suggesting that he possibly will use this impeachment process as a way to campaign for his second term in office. The question here is, how much support does he have on the ground, or how popular is he on the ground?
Well, this is certainly seen as a risk as far as the Democrats are concerned. Of course, let's not forget that when it came to the Mueller investigation, it was House Speaker Nancy Pelosi, a leading Democrat, that was very much against moving forward when it came to impeachment on that particular topic. The argument from Pelosi at that time was they believed that if there wasn't a deemed smoking gun, that it could in fact hurt Democrats' chances in the upcoming elections. But of course she sees things differently this time, and the calculation from the Democrats is that what they see is this alleged quid pro quo could potentially be damning enough to really hurt the president going forward. But of course the president has reiterated that he's done nothing wrong. He describes it as a Democratic Democratic hoax, and he will certainly be looking to use that as potential ammunition going forward to try and galvanise his base that once again it's President Trump against the establishment, against Democrats, as a form of rallying cry to really galvanise people to come out and head to the polling stations in great numbers to re-elect him next year.
US correspondent William Denzilo coming to us live from New York there. Thank you for that update. Here's a